Here comes a new challenger!
Hello there everyone, and welcome to Smash Ultimate Analysis, and today we're covering Falco. Now, before I say anything, if I'm wrong about anything I've said in this video, please let me know in the comments below. I'm always willing to read, no matter what. So let's get started with Falco. So Falco, in my opinion, I hate him. I hate fighting against him, because every time I fight against him, I know that once I get hit, it becomes a one-player game, especially on a stage like Battlefield. We're not on Battlefield, but triplats are really one of Falco's calling. Alright, and I hate it, okay? Now look, when it comes to Falco, he's pretty good. I would say he's the second best Spacey. Not as good as Wolf in my personal opinion. I still think Wolf is better, but I do think that between Fox, Falco, and Wolf, it would be Wolf, Falco, then Fox. And there are many reasons for that. I believe that Falco is superior to Fox and not as much as Wolf, but let's get right into it. So let's talk about certain aspects of Falco. Alright, and the presentation is done. You may go home now. Okay, but no, seriously. Let's talk about everything before we get to his actual normals, because his normals and his aerials are kind of a big deal. So let's talk about his recovery. In terms of his recovery, it's okay. It's just as exploitable as Fox's, but the only difference between them, this side be spikes. So if you get caught, then you're getting hit. Not only that, however, his B doesn't go as far. So if I do it here, if I do it here, yeah, I should be dead. Ah, magnet hands. How could I forget? But as you can see, you know, the animation kind of stopped before it, so it doesn't go as far as Fox. So that's another thing about that, right? But his double jump goes very high. So let's do a short hop here, and let's do a double jump. All right, double jump, pretty good. All right. Obviously, in some cases, in most cases, you want to save your double jump, because without your double jump, you're just gonna get edge guarded and you're gonna have a pretty bad time. I mean, sure, you have a wall jump, but how practical is that gonna be most of the time? You know what I mean? So for Falco, yeah, he's kind of worried about getting edge guarded, so you gotta save that second jump, because if you waste it, well, then it's gonna be really bad for you, especially if, say, your second jump gets caught. If it gets caught, then that's even more of a problem for you, because now you're in an even worse position than you probably already started off in. But hey, at least, just like with Fox, he can go to his side B and then use an up B right after, which is pretty good. But that doesn't take away from the fact that his recovery is in itself very linear, and therefore he will get edge guarded a lot and possibly lose his stocks when he's off stage, more often than not, right? Another thing to go over is his movement. So in terms of his movement, you might as well just initial dash everywhere. It's much faster than just you running. All right, here's me running. All right, and then here's me initial dashing everywhere. Not only that, but out of an initial dash, you can dash walk, and dash walking can lead to better position. All right, better positioning is always really good. So, you know, I mean, Falco got a pretty good dash, all things considered. In terms of air mobility, he doesn't really move too far to the left or right. It's mainly just going up and down, but it's still good enough for you to be able to catch someone and juggle someone, which we'll also get into very, very soon. So in terms of movement, it's pretty good. Disadvantage wise, not the greatest. He doesn't really have moves that get him out of disadvantage for free, but yeah, you know, I mean, what move really does nowadays, right? And you can just mash your face on the controller and sometimes you get out for free, but that's not a here or there. So when it comes to disadvantage, Falco in that sense is kind of worse than Fox, because at least Fox has a frame 3 nair, right? Whereas Falco has to rely on either his jump or his air dodge, which isn't too fun for him. And considering that he is, well, Spacey, he's more than likely to get comboed a lot harder than most other characters, just like with Fox. So I think Falco is a little bit more safe on that than Fox, so you don't have to worry too much in Falco's case. But now that we went over all that, let's talk about some other minor moves that you're not really going to be seeing too much use of. Basically being well, so let's talk about his moves, shall we? Okay, well, if we're being serious for a bit, at most the only lackluster thing about him really are some of his throws. And I say some, and by some I just mean, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this forward throw ain't too bad. I'm not too sure, but you know, let me know in the comments below. But now let's get started with everything else. The character, oh boy. Alright, so as I mentioned before, when Falco plays the game, it's a one-player game. You get hit once, and this one hit can lead to several more hits. And on heavier characters, this is no more apparent. Not only that, but getting one hit is not a problem when your combo starters are either usually all aerials or are tilts. Not only that, but you have pretty good spacing tools looking considered. Obviously, you have the unstoppable F-tilt, which is pretty good for spacing, and you can even angle it, so that's pretty good. It does pretty good damage, mainly to poke at people's shields and then walk away or dash away and whiff punish the opponent, so that's pretty good. And obviously, once you kind of, you know, you got them doing a move, you can either grab them and go for, you know, say for like a throw, which, you know, I'm not a Falco main, but I can tell you that that's not fun. Okay, that's not fun to get hit by. Now, obviously, there are ways to DI this. One of the things that you should note if you're playing against Falco is that if Falco goes for a grab, always DI down and in. Okay, so let's be our wolf here. Now, okay, actually, let's set the wolf to a higher percent, right? So around kill ranges, say like 100. That's gonna happen to you, right? But if you DI in and out, or man, I forget the exact DI. It's somewhere there. You essentially can avoid getting hit with the laser. Most times we want to DI out, but that's not gonna work. It has to be in. So, and plus you have to be ready for the grab, right? Because if Falco just like pokes you with like his tilts or whatever and you're shielding, he just keep poking you with, you know, if you whiff, like say you like do a short hop aerial, Falco can take advantage of that. If you try doing a tilt out of shield or an up B out of shield or something to that effect, Falco can take advantage of that, you know, and punish you for it. So it is kind of scary to be on Falco's end, but there are ways to DI this. I guess I forgot the DI. Either way, there is a way to escape that. Not only that, but just be certain that that DI does work for, say, back throw. So there you go. It's a little bit more consistent with back throw, which means that Falco theoretically should not be killing you with this throw if you know that information. Because that throw can kill with the laser, I think at like 120 or 130 for most characters. But again, once you know how to, you know, DI it, then obviously it's not an issue. The main issue is that when you do DI it, you're essentially putting yourself in a really bad spot because Falco has very long lasting lingering aerials like Nair and Fair, and that's not really fun to deal with when you're trying to recover low after, you know, getting hit with a back throw, sorry. So that's not fun, but you know, who said anything about this character was fun to deal with? All right, personally speaking. And when it comes to triplats, Falco is a menace because his platform game is scary. He can easily get you and juggle you on all sorts of plats, especially at Battlefield. Battlefield being his favorite stage. Yoshi's a close second because once you essentially know how to, you know, pressure your opponent and sort of poke them out, make them do moves and punish them for it, all you really need for Falco is one hit and you start winning. Now, out of shield wise, Falco really isn't the greatest. Before in Smash 4, he had back air, but as you can see, doesn't work anymore. Not on Wolf, it does work on like bigger characters, but it doesn't work for a majority of the cast. And why is that? Well, that's because of Falco's short hop. It's not good. It's not good at all. I mean, it goes short, sure, but because of how short this short hop is, I mean, well, how high the short hop is, You can't really punish with Bear like Falco used to be able to. So in that sense, he doesn't really have a great out of shield game. At most you're relying is Nair, which Nair. I mean, you could use Fair, I guess. Alright, Fair out shield. Which Fair is also obnoxious, but you know, so his disadvantage state is not the greatest, so pressuring Falco is really what you want to do and with punish him. But then again, he's so obnoxious from a farther range because of his laser. So while Fox's builds up damage while dealing no knockback, Falco's has some, you know, makes you flinch. You can take some damage. It obviously isn't spammable as Foxes, but it is obnoxious, right? Especially when the Falco likes to do some of these, some of these, and then some of those, which this reflector is also obnoxious because this reflector can actually do some knockback. And you know, if Falco can make the player if you can make your opponent frustrated by playing Falco and just annoying them with these moves, then obviously they're going to make mistakes, and that's where Falco can capitalize on his strongest combos. And because of that, once he starts hitting you, it's really just a miracle if you can even manage to escape, especially since Falco has pretty good conversions from all the way from mid stage to the ledge, from one platform to another platform, etc. So it's very dangerous against Falco. Not only that, but Falco's edge guarding, like I mentioned earlier, is pretty good. But the thing is that he kind of puts you in terrible situations because most of the time you're either recovering from the middle or low, and because of that, typically Falco can just put out his longer lasting aerials and you'll get hit. Not only that, but Falco can be quite annoying on shield, obviously, because you have such moves such as up tilt, but not only that, but you have the all famous Fair, which it does indeed have a landing hitbox. And I don't know about you guys, maybe it's just me, but I hate landing hitboxes, you know, because I let go of shield and I think I'm safe and then I get hit. Not fun at all. So on shield, Falco's pretty obnoxious. Getting hit, Falco's also obnoxious. In a sense, he just sort of makes you afraid, and because of that, I always struggle to fight against this character, because I can't think that fast when Falco is just hitting me and who knows whatever direction he wants me to be in. So typically against a Falco player, you never want to play on stages or platforms. Even if it's like one or two platforms to the side like this stage, you still want to hope you take him to FD. Alright, at best. However, that's not to say Falco doesn't have other options, obviously. He has side B, which on the ground is incredibly good. Why is it incredibly good? It's fast, it's a combo tool, that's one thing. And if you catch someone, hey, look at that, I got a jab lock. Woo! Woo! I'm so talented, guys. Woo! You know, I can hit it, you know. Oh man, what happens when you get jab locked? Oh, something funny happens. You know, once you get jab locked, a little thing called a hits you, and then you're gonna be taken for a ride. All right, you know, have you ever played Marvel vs. Capcom? That type of I'm gonna take you for a ride. Do 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 do. So yeah, I mean, I never really liked playing against Falco. For me, I always find Falco, he did have some issues before, which didn't make me think he was better than Fox. One of them was connection issues. Obviously, a lot of Falco's moves back then didn't connect that well, and still don't, in some cases, still don't. But you know, it happens. His up smash was better, you know, up till, if I remember correctly, got better in these aspects. Because one of the main issues of Ultimate was that moves didn't connect. It was basically what they tried patching up, and because of that, we now ended up with Falco, who won't allow you to have fun. Falco is a very strong character. He's just one of those characters where it's like, if you lose neutral once, you get hit once, you're taking anywhere from 50 to 70, even potentially losing your stock. Kind of reminds me of Luigi, but not as obnoxious. I mean, after all, with Luigi, it's more like, I gotta play super lane to win. With Falco, you can't really do that too much. You just have to be up close in his face, on his shield, because then he won't really have too much to do. But you also have to be careful, because if a Falco decides to up tilt out a shield, like the menaces that they are, then obviously if you get caught by that, that's going to lead to massive damage right then and there. So again, you want to be careful against Falco. Falco's a very scary character. You also want to abuse him when he's off stage. When he's off stage, don't let him back on stage. Just keep beating the life out of him because he deserves it. Except in Star Fox games, he's actually a really chill dude. Falco is actually one of my favorite characters in all Star Fox, but when it comes to Smash, it's a whole different story. Alright, all my love for your character is immediately out the window when I have to deal with oh man, look, I'm so talented. Oh, and then I get hit and then I lose my stock. Okay, and that's not to say I don't like fighting against Falcos. I do, depending on the character, but, you know, for my mains, you know, I mean, well, not my mains, but when it comes to it, I just have to think really quick and react really fast. And, you know, when I just want to have fun with the video game, not be too serious about it, suddenly I play Falco and my brain power has to go even higher than it normally isn't. So I'm not that smart, as you can tell, but when it comes to having to play against the Falco, I gotta be prepared because he's scary. He's a very scary character. And honestly, in terms of tier placing, I wouldn't say he's top tier because of his disadvantage, his poor disadvantage, but his advantage state is one of the most absurd. And obviously, there are a lot of other things they didn't really go into. I didn't go to all of his moves. You know, he has a lot of good moves. All right. He has a lot of strengths that I didn't even cover. All right, but I just sort of wanted to cover the main basic stuff. I'm not a Falco main, that should be clear. There are much better channels out there to cover character specific stuff. I'm just an all-arounder guy giving my opinions on these characters, you know. And for me, Falco is strong, but that doesn't mean I want to play him sometimes. Sometimes I just want to relax, you know, have my own form of fun. But with that, I hope you guys enjoyed. What do you guys think? You guys think Falco's top tier? I don't think so. I think he's high tier, definitely. And I definitely think he's the best out of, well, between, okay, sorry. He's the second best when it comes to all the species. Wolf, to me, is just much stronger, and I'll get to that in a future video. But with that all being said, I hope you guys enjoyed. Please take care of yourselves. Have an amazing rest of your day. Peace!
Coming through.